Three, two, one, go. Greetings, family. How you doing?
We're
Welcome.
good on this end.
Hold on, hold on, Bill. Hold on. Anyways, greetings, family. Welcome to another one of your Frank 26 UB2Bs. It is the 20th of April, 2021. And I greet you in a God beloved. It's good to be with you. We have once again Bill Johnson with us that's going to talk to us from the protection group that does the trust funds that are extremely important, I think, especially right now with what we're going through. Bill's going to just say a few words to you, family, introduce himself, say hey, and all that good stuff. And then I'd like for you to, bombard him, hit him with questions. If This is a very good, opportune time for you to take advantage of Bill with us and ask him all the questions that you need. Here we go. With that said, Bill, are you there?
I am here, Frank. Yes, sir.
Yes, welcome, Bill. It's good to have you with us again. I really, really love the product that your company represents and what it does for so many people. Go ahead and say a few words, and then we'll see if the family can start hitting us with some questions. Please post
Okay.
questions right now, family, so we can see them.
I guess the first thing I need to go just do a little bit of a brief overview for folks that maybe have never heard before, never don't know anything about what we're talking about. And what we're talking about is we're talking about an irrevocable trust that protects your assets. And you say, what assets? Well, when the RV occurs, you're going to have some assets. It's going to be in the form of cash to start off with. And folks, you got to know, and I know that when you have a bunch of cash, people find out about it. It's Katie bar the door. You're in trouble. They're going to be begging for you. Your charities are going to be all over you, trying to get it, trying to find out what you can't give some away. You got it easy. We want some of it too. You know how it goes. It just it's ridiculous. But we do have a way to solve it. We have a way to protect you from it, and we have a way to protect you anybody ever taking your money from you in any kind of a lawsuit. And that's the main thing we want you to understand: protection of your assets, and yet you have total control of it. So it's not like right now, if you put it in your checking account, you'd have total control over it, but you don't have protection because if something were to happen, the judge would tell you just write a check and pay off whatever it is you had to pay off, whatever it might have been. With the protection group irrevocable trust, you put your money into the trust, and it's just like having money in your left pocket right now, and you just all of a sudden you put money in your right pocket. And can you get the money out of your left pocket easy? Yeah, sure you can. You've been doing it for all your life. What about your right pocket? Well, it's right there. You just go get it. You might have to write a little note that says, "Hey, can I get this money?" And they say yes. And if you go get it, that's how simple it is. But it's protected in your right pocket. Nobody can get to it. It's got that extra measure of well, what am I trying to think here? Protection for you because it requires a trustee to be involved in the transaction. And so if that trustee is involved in the transaction, then nobody can get to you because they can't get through the trustee. So that's how. But the bottom line is, you still control it 100% of the time. I mean, no way that anybody can ever do anything. The trustee can't ever take away from you what you want to do. If you want to do something that's really crazy, that's really stupid, spend too much money on something, that's your prerogative. You have the right to do that, and then they don't have the right to stop you, and they won't be able to stop you. So, with that said, that's the most important thing people need to understand. It protects your money, it protects your asset, and you have complete control over it. The irrevocable part, I know we talk about it all the time. I always mention it because I've heard it before. Oh, I don't want a daggone trust with irrevocable because blah blah blah. Well, all they're saying is they don't understand what irrevocable is for our trust. Irrevocable does not apply to you, and I'm talking when I say you, I'm talking about you and your wife, you and your spouse, you and your husband, just you if you're single. I'm talking about you. You're the settler of the trust, which means that you are the person or persons that are going to put money into the trust, and you're going to fund the trust. Well, as long as you're alive, could be a long time for a lot of people, as long as you're alive, you can change anything that you put into the trust in April 2021 to any time you want to change it, and you can change it again and again and again and again. As long as you're alive, you have complete control over the irrevocable part. It's not irrevocable. It becomes irrevocable to your heirs, When you pass away and you've left money to your three sons or your daughters, and so, let's just say three sons, when you've left money to them, you're going to control from the grave how they get that money, because you're going to set up your successors to receive money, and you set up the parameters for that. So it becomes irrevocable to them. They can't change what you've done, and unfortunately, they can't ask you about it because you're going to be in heaven, and there's no way you can look down and you can smile, but you can't be talked to. At least I don't think. I haven't been able to figure that out yet. But anyway, you can't. You're going to have complete control. They are going to abide by the rules and regulations that you set forward. So that's important. That's a couple of things that are very, very important. It's called our trust is called an irrevocable, complex, segregated asset trust, and it is easy to operate. It's been very, very confusing the first week or so, but after that you get it and you think, well, why was it so confusing? It's so easy, and that's the bottom line. It really is easy. So with that said, I think that we could get a whole lot of things answered with questions rather than me spouting off and talking about an irrevocable trust. And I mean, I will mention to you that you, as the settler of the trust, when you pass away, if you didn't have a trust and you had, let's say you had a really nice trust full or bank account full of money, you had some properties because this RV provided it for you, and you made extra money. And when you passed away, the government comes in and inheritance tax takes hold and takes 50% of everything you've got for inheritance tax. We've all heard about it for years of people that in the Midwest that had 1,000-acre farms, and the owner of the farm died, and then they had to sell off half the farm to pay the IRS, pay the government, not the IRS, but the government, because of inheritance tax. Well, folks, that's the beauty of this trust. You don't own anything. When you pass away, you will not own anything. It'll all be in trust where you control it. What's the difference? As long as you control it, that's what matters. But when that happens, when you pass away, 50% of nothing is nothing, and none of your estate loses anything that they have. All that you've achieved in the last years of your life to build up that trust and make it more profitable and to do, it stays intact. When your three sons that take over, and they come in and they build it up and they keep going with it, and when they pass away, it stays intact. There are no taxes on it ever, and this thing goes on forever. One of the things I mentioned to people I had a question today. Well, how do I register the trust? I mean, what do I do? It's a Wyoming trust, and I live in Florida. It's a Wyoming trust, and I live in Utah. Well, it's our trust is compatible with the trust laws of all 50 states. So it's for us. It's a Wyoming trust, but it's like having the whole rest of the United States is just one state. As far as we're concerned, it all applies to the one area. So it's just it works very, very well, and it's just perfect. So I don't know what else to say except let's get some questions asked, Frank, and maybe we'll bring up some points that will help other people realize what I'm trying to talk about, what we're saying, and how we protect our assets.
Okay. We have Stephanie Ellis that's asking the question, how does a trust work when it's in a different state?
Same as it does it, like I just said, it's a Wyoming trust, and just consider all of the 50 states as one territory, and you're operating that trust in that territory.
Okay.
So it makes no difference where it's located.
Phil is asking, Elswick, he says, can I use a trust fund with an LLC?
Yes, the trust can own the LLC, and the trust can own the assets of the LLC. If you're a 100% owner of an LLC, then that makes it easy. If not, then your percentage that you have can be put in. If you own like a half of the LLC, you can put your half of the ownership into the trust, as well as the assets of the trust of the LLC, and protect it that way. But yes, you can.
Nathan wants to know, I plan on moving to the East Coast. What would we need to update our information on the trust?
Nothing. You might want to change your trustees. If you live in California, you're gonna move to Tennessee.
Good point.
And you got two trustees out in California. You can come to Tennessee, and as you get to know these folks here, and get some friends here or whatever, and you can change your trustees to make it more convenient for you. Now you can live in Tennessee and have two trustees in California, but it just makes it more. It just makes it more complicated, because when you get a check signed, get documents signed, you can always scan documents in, send it to wherever the United States. It doesn't matter. They can sign it, send it back to you, and that part can be fulfilled. But then they have to write a check. If you need a check for for whatever, you want to buy a new car, want to buy a new house, whatever, they need to kind of be involved, be around to help you with that. At least one of them. So when you move to Tennessee, come on down and we'll have you. We have no income tax for your money that you're going to make, and there's been plenty of people here that would be glad to help you.
I like that. I like that. Hey, Bill, by the way, this program is only for people in the United States of America, right? We have people from Australia, Canada, Ireland, and all over right now watching us. Is it only for the United States?
That is correct, Frank. It's a United States trust only. Yes.
Gotcha. This next question, I don't know, Bill. I don't adhere to the study that well, but Gerald, I want to respect him. Gerald Cummings is asking, and if you don't, have an answer, you just don't. He says, "Will the QFS, you know what that is, the quantitative financial system?
Do.
Okay. Will the QFS protect us to some degree?"
I have no idea exactly how the QFS is going to protect you, but whatever you have in this trust is protected. It doesn't affect this, because all the QFS is going to be is a holding thing for your money. And when you need some, you get it out of the QFS, you put it into your own checking account. In this case, you move it into your trust account probably. But it would protect you the same as it. I don't think the QFS will have any effect on the people that are wanting to protect their assets in the trust.
That's a good answer. Hey, I got a question before we continue with everybody else's questions. The trustee, the two trustees that are required, do we pay them?
It's a good idea. Do you have to pay them? No. Is there a rule or regulation that says you have to pay them? No. Therefore, there's no rule that says how much you got to pay them. It's strictly something that you do on your own. If I use a neighbor or a friend of mine that's retired as a trustee and he's on fixed income, and I've got millions of dollars, and I would like to help him out too, but he's going to help me.
Very good.
I can pay him whatever I want. I can pay him $1,000 a month. I could pay him $200 a month. I could pay, but people on fixed income with the shrinking dollar that we're facing right now could use an extra. There's not any family around that can't use a couple $100 extra, $300, $200, whatever you can afford to pay them. So
I like that.
The answer is yes. You need to compensate the people that work for you. There's one other thing too, Frank. If you have another friend that's got currency, hey, you be a trustee for me, Bob, and I'll be a trustee for you. We don't have to pay each other anything.
You son of a gun! You beat me. I was just about to tell you that I was going to use the bartering system. Well, actually, I already did. I've lined up people that I would like to do this with because they have some, and I know them very well. Some are family members, some I've known as friends. And yeah, that's what we established. I tell you what, I'll be a trustee for you. You be a trustee for me. What do you think? Sounds like a winner. So yeah, that's what but you beat me. You must play chess very good. We have David Whitaker that's asking a question. I'm not too sure, but I'll read it as it was posed. He says, structured annuities, ? Difference between the two. Well, he's only giving us structured annuities. I don't know what he wants you to compare it to. Maybe to your product. Structured annuities versus what you have.
Well, if you have an annuity, a structured annuity, you'd want to put it in a trust and have the trust own the annuity, and have the money coming into the trust. You don't want the money coming back to you, unless there's something that I'm missing here, which could be is like a 401k is judgment proof. What your Social Security is judgment proof. Is an annuity judgment proof? If it is, then it doesn't matter. But if it's not, you'd want to have it in the trust, owned by the trust, and have the proceeds of the annuity every month or every quarter, however it's paying out, be paid directly into your asset management trust.
Roger. James Malo is asking the following question. Can we buy extra ins on the funds in an irrevocable trust? Or do I need to do? Well, I think he messed this up. Or do I not? That's it. I messed it up. Or do I not need to because it's in a trust? I'm worried the banks are going down, and I still have my money.
Okay, now I'm not. I don't understand the question.
Here we go. Can we buy extra ins on the funds in an irrevocable trust? It sounds like he's saying, can we add to our irrevocable trust once we've established it with something else?
Well, yeah, you absolutely can keep on. You can continue to add. If you want to add money or something or object into the trust, you just go to your letter of wishes, and that's the one step you'd go to. The beneficiary wants to give $100,000 to the trust, and the trustees sign off on it. And you write a check to your asset management trust, and deposit it, and so it would go in there. I'm not sure that's what he's asking because I don't really understand.
Yeah, I know, and that's why I said I'm not too sure about the question, but let's give it a shot. Here's another one from Lori Larson. What if you are alone? In other words, she's not married. How does this work?
Works the same way as if you were married, except you got only one person enjoying the benefits of the trust.
That's
That would
right.
be you. You totally 100% control the trust with no help from a mate because you don't have a mate. And so you would then just it would all you still want to protect your assets, I would think, regardless whether you're married or not.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
if you have a trust and you got things that are working pretty good, and then you get married, that's a great prenuptial agreement also because your new husband has no part of the trust and can't have part of it.
We kind of already answered the fact that we cannot help people in Canada, Australia, anywhere outside the United States. But we have Shelley Reynolds from Australia who's asking, do you know any trust fund advisors in Australia?
I don't know it in Canada or anywhere besides the United States.
Yeah, because it's really not practiced that much outside of the U.S. It's an American-made product, to be honest with you.
It certainly from 1765. You remember that, don't you,
That's
Frank?
right,
Patrick,
1765.
our old buddy Patrick Henry did it for us. Brought it in.
And you're still using it,
1765.
and you're still using it. Many people are using it now that they've purchased it from you.
It's still in existence. It's called the North American Land Trust.
Yes, I know that one. Yeah. Larry Noble. Larry Noble. And by the way, before I ask you Larry Noble's question, one more thing on that comment, ladies and gentlemen. You ever hear the old phrase, "Follow the money"? Follow the money.
Absolutely,
Did,
yes.
did, did, did you ever hear the phrase from Cuba? Cuba couldn't Cuba Junior or something like that?
Cuba Gooding Jr.
Cuba
Gooding,
Gooding
Jr.
Junior. He couldn't have a simple name, huh? Where he says, "Show me the money."
Yeah.
So follow the money.
You'll find a lot of answers when you follow the money, won't you?
Follow the money. Show me the money. But in this case, protect your money.
Yep,
Now,
that's
what this
exactly
is.
right.
That's what this trust concept is all about. And if not our forefathers, yeah, our forefathers, those that established, the United States of America way back in the 17th century, if they used it back then, and the politicians of today still use it, ask a politician if he owns any of his money. He'll tell you, no, none of my money's in my name. Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
Are you
that's
kidding me?
true.
The liability against just being me? No, thank you very much. Follow the money. Show me the money. Protect your money.
And follow the money. You want to find out what's going on in the world? Follow the money.
Indeed. Larry Noble is saying, if your bank will not accept trust bank documents that are provided by the protection group, must you give them, the bank, a copy of your full and all-inclusive trust?
We don't recommend that because we're giving them all the information that they need to make a legal decision. But there have been situations where the person wanted to go with that particular bank and they wouldn't adhere to it unless they saw the entire trust. Well, since we have nothing to hide, we asked the bank at that point specifically, what do you want? We've shown you what we have, and you appreciate what we have, but what else do you want? And list it for me. And when they list it, you give it to them, and then they will open up a checking account for you. But it's not necessary. Wells Fargo doesn't require it. some of the other banks don't require it, but some are. You know, it's funny. You'd think that the banks in Tennessee and the banks in California and the banks in Montana would all be the same if they're the same name, but they're not. And you could run into a manager that doesn't even know what a trust is, and just says, "Well, I can't do that. I can't open." Well, why can't you just a checking account? It's all it is. It happens to be in the name of a trust. Well, I got to have this. Well, this person, if you want to continue to do business with them, you got two choices: either give them what they want or go to another bank. And see, you can make the decision. It's your decision, however you want to handle it.
Brian Thornton is asking, can this trust, it says HO, offshore. I think he's asking, can this trust be offshore?
No.
No. Yeah, I know. I'm shaking my head before you even answered that question.
Yeah, you want to fool with offshore, you need to do that with some people that know about it. I don't know about it, don't care about it, but we don't have anything to do with it.
Yeah, nor KTFA. Don't mess with Swiss bank accounts. Don't mess with offshore accounts. Don't do that. Don't do that. Give to Uncle Sam what belongs to him.
Absolutely.
I've always said.
Absolutely.
I always said just throw it at him. Alrighty, Brad. I really don't have anyone that I trust. Wait a minute. I really don't have anyone that I trust to transfer receipts, titles, write down minutes of meetings. They don't want to have. Bring in a checkbook to a few friends to sign is one thing, but I don't understand his question. But I think what he's doing is complaining about the fact that he doesn't have anybody qualified to be a trustee. May I suggest that maybe you consider go to your church and talk to your pastor. You do go to church, right? That is a very good place to start out. I mean, I'd rather go to my church and ask for a friend to help me than to go to a bar and ask, a friend.
Absolutely. But I'll tell you something. Else too. That in your church or in your community, if you'll just ask around, there's people that have retired that are forced into retirement. Yeah. Maybe they work for the railroad, and in a certain period of time they have to retire, and they're retiring on a fixed income. Well, as you know, we're losing 3-4% a year on our dollar, the buying ability of our dollar, and so if they retired years ago, 10 years ago, their money that they got then doesn't buy what it did today, what it did then. Could they use an extra couple $100 a month? Yeah, and the answer probably is 100% yes. And would they be willing to help you? You got to remember, folks. I'm 78 years old, so I can tell you that somebody that's 65 years old is not stupid. They're just as smart, not smarter than they were when they were 45 years old, because they have experience and they know what's going on. You can trust them. They'll work with you. They'll be good partners with you, and probably more than likely they won't be talking about it. Telling everybody your secrets. But you can get a world of work and confidence and sharing and friendship from a retired person.
Let's step on the gas here because we're getting a lot of questions. So that was Brad. Now we have Juanita Gay. Does this take place of a will?
It absolutely does. You don't own anything. To have a will, you have to own something to put into the will. The trust, everything that you have is owned by the trust. When you pass away, your successor beneficiaries will get everything that you have in the trust, the way you allowed them to do it, the way you scripted it, kind of a thing. And so you don't need a will.
Roger that. Gerald Cummings is saying, is a trust drawn up by attorneys only?
Ours is.
Which is the best route. Gino is saying, can you collect some kind of interest on the money if it is in the trust?
Absolutely. You have total control over the trust. If you want to take out, if your trust is earning $8,000 a month or $10,000 a month with investments you made, and you want to take it all out, all you do is just do a letter, what they call a letter of wishes, and you tell the trustees what you want, and every month you just vary the amount. You don't you don't make it a regular amount every month. You vary the amount. You can take it all out, but what are you going to do with it? Anything you take out and put in your personal checking account is no longer protected. Nice. But you can do that.
Next question from I thought it said Soros. No, it says Srozes. Srozes. Srozes, I think. Can we have a son-in-law as a trustee?
Yes.
It might be better, especially
Not a bad idea. We have a
not a bad idea, is right.
mother-in-law
You take
place.
care of our girl, boy. You hear me? You don't forget it was a shotgun wedding to begin with, okay? No, okay.
Right.
Brad is saying, can I pay you 5,000 dinars for your trust package?
No, we don't have any way to take that.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's the United States of America. It's an American product. You have to pay with American dollars.
Yeah.
Judy Horton is saying, I know that the dinar, when put in a trust, is set at its value. If we put the dinar in the trust after the RI, will it be the value we paid for it or the value after it RIs?
If you haven't exchanged it yet, it'll still be the value you paid for it.
Got it? If you have not exchanged it. So in other words, before that,
Yes.
it's the value you bought it from a broker. But
Whatever you've got
afterward,
invested in it, that's what your corpus of your trust would be.
and then after the reinstatement, it depends on what you did with it. Did you
That's correct.
leave
If you
it?
still have it, if the reinstatement came along and you never went to the bank and exchanged anything, then you still can put it into the trust at the value you paid for it. Then you can go exchange it after you get it into the trust. But you need to document what you're doing. We provide documents for that you fill out and get notarized. And yes, you can do it that. You can certainly do it that way.
Travis is asking, can a trust be compromised if a trustee is sued?
No.
Jeff is asking, it looks like Zidon. Do I have to file my trust in the states where I live, or can it be in a nearby state?
Well, you don't file it in. It's where you're buying the property that it gets filed.
Mm.
If you live in Georgia and you buy a piece of property in Florida, and you're going to buy it with let's say you're buying it with Home Sweet Home Real Estate Trust, and you buy it in Florida. When the deed is registered, the deed will be made out in the name of the trust that you had the name, and it will be registered in the county where you bought that property. So it would be registered in a different state.
Roger, hold on a second. There's somebody that I don't understand. Get rid of that guy as quickly as possible. I have to do so many things, Bill. I have to look at my teams. I have to look at Jan. I have to look at the posting. I have to look at our form. So I just saw something I needed to take care of. Alrighty, here we go. Timothy S. Bill, is there any savings on tax from distributions if I made my kids part of the trust, like my wife and I?
No, that would be a CPA question. If you can get with your CPA and figure out some way to save money on taxes, that's who you would contact.
Here's Judith. Someone already answered it. In fact, somebody that bought the product from you, and I have no problems. How much would it cost to set it up? These 10 trust funds.
$2,900.
So for $2,900, you end up with that's basically $290 per trust fund. That is an extraordinarily good deal. Thank you, Bill. Linda's asking, can I do the trust after the RI?
Of course. Absolutely.
Greg,
Hey, there's nothing wrong. Hey, Frank, probably way more than half of our folks that we talk to don't have $2,900. I don't care how fast you say it, it's still a lot of money. And if you don't have it, you have to wait till after the RI or the RV. When that happens, then you get it done, get your paperwork in, you got money to pay for it, and you'll be ready to go. But you do not have to have a trust to go exchange your currency. That's for one thing. And so when you get it ready, it's just going to be, you exchange the money, you put it into a checking account, and it's just exposed for the next week or 10 days or 2 weeks, however long it takes you to get your trust set up. Once you try to set it up and you move the money into the trust in the checking account of the trust, it's protected. but you can do that anytime, pre-RV or post-RV.
Alrighty, Greg Longaric, I hope I'm saying that right, says, "Say I have the trust. Can I leave, say, like my daughter beneficiary if something happens to me?"
Of course, that's what you do.
Yep, exactly. Donald Pulley, Pulley, Donald Pulley. "I have a history of Alzheimer's in my family. Can I have a child to be a startup partner with me since I could also have this disease?"
No,
Hmm.
you would just have her as a successor if something happened to you, even if you came down with the disease and were incapable of going forward as the beneficiary. You could have it set up to where somebody else could take over, and it might, if it's her, that's fine.
Right. Okay. Jesse Champion is saying, "If I don't want to use a bank after the RV, it's actually the RI, how can I put my money into the trust?"
Where are you going to get it? You can get a checking account at a savings and loan, or at a what do they call it? See, Y12 credit union.
Credit unions, yeah.
You can put it anywhere as long as you got to have a checking account to operate with, but
Yeah.
but other than that, it doesn't have to be a bank.
Okay. Michael Winkler, what are the paperwork and upkeep of a trust? In a corporation, there are minutes and minutes of officers. Will we have to do this quarterly, annually, etc.?
The only thing that's required of a trust is that you have at least one meeting a year on the 31st day of December. That's all that's required. But
Roger that.
if you're doing any business, you're going to have minutes. You're going to have meetings, to buy automobiles, to buy houses, to buy investments, and you'll have many meetings. But you're required to have only one.
Here's another one. How long does it take to set this up if they get a hold of you?
2 days right now.
All right. Let me see. I need to remove. Jan, you got a pin up here, and I'm going to remove it because I cannot see. There, it's gone. Let me go back. How far back do I have to go, babe?
To where somebody's asking.
Yeah, but the problem is, Jen, I can't see out of all of these hundreds of postings. You know what I mean? Give me an idea, some kind of a statement somewhere.
Somebody says Yvette Epstein joining late. Any RV news? And it's orange. Like orange Y.
An orange Y.
Yes. See this?
Where, Jen? Point. Oh, I see. Is it? Oh, here it is. Here it is. Joining late. Any RV news? All right. So from that,
we wish.
All right. So from that, well, what we released last night, wasn't that powerful, Bill?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I mean, I can't believe we were given permission to actually tell everybody, ladies and gentlemen, they are about to release a massive campaign. But anyways, I'll talk about that later. So let's see here. How long does it take? We asked that question. Do our personal attorneys enforce the trust after they are drawn up?
You absolutely do not need an attorney. Once you have this trust, you don't need an attorney. You have your trust, so you don't have any reason to have an attorney on board.
Roger. All right, that was Peggy. Here's another question. I'm trying to read them off now from the chat room. Fasted is asking, Frank, is there any advantage to form a trust in a certain state over another state?
No.
Roger that. That was easy enough. Brad is asking, can the trustees be married to each other?
Ooh, yes.
Ooh, yeah. Good question. Yeah, I knew that answer. Let's see. I'm hanging another. I'm looking. All these, no. Hang in there, Bill. We may be headed down the home stretch. It's actually 7:30 now, but let's see what else we got. Nope. Thank you for all for being honest about not needing a trust before the IRV. Yeah, I mean, why? Who's that? T.C. Winfrey. Yeah, T.C. We're not here.
Frank, you know why I said that? I've heard it on many calls
I know, and
that you
that's a
have to have a
lie.
trust. These people that are selling trust like we're doing,
It's a
and
flat out lie.
you have to have a trust before you can exchange. You have to, so you might as well go ahead and get it. And I don't say a word. I just laugh and hang up.
Yeah, no, we're not trying to sell anything, TC. We're actually trying to educate people so that you can take this information to God in prayer, make a decision with the Holy Spirit, and then if we can help you, well, where'd you get the
Amen.
information?
Amen. That's a great way to end it if we're ending.
And then if we can help you, well, ask yourself, where'd you get the information? Call us. Let's see here. What else? Any other questions? Overtime, sled? No, this
Do
okay.
you have to register the trust?
Do you have to register the trust?
Frank, the trust is registered every time you do something.
I know that,
When you buy a house, there's a deed that you fill out that you record when you buy a piece of property. The deed's in the name of Hot Rod or let's say Home Sweet Home Real Estate Trust. In the county that you purchase that, it'll be registered with the Register of Deeds office. When you buy an automobile, it'll be registered with the county court clerk. When you buy anything, it's going to be registered. So that everything gets registered, and there's no fee to register any of this, and this trust automatically renews itself every 14 years for eternity. There's never a fee to redo it like LLCs have $300, $400, $500 a year that you have to pay to keep them in force. The trust does not have any fees at all to keep it in force.
Roger.
And the $2,900 that I mentioned a minute ago, that's all you'll ever pay, regardless of what you need, how many times you need to call us, how many times you need to get something done. There's never a fee for that.
I also like the fact that your company, if I should have some type of a disaster on my computer, that I lose all my files, you guys would be willing to, for free, replace all this trust fund data.
Absolutely, everything we have. In it last year, it happened 3 times. We had people that lost their computer and lost their trust, and so they got another one from us for nothing.
Somebody's asking a question, but it's chopped up. The family, you have to type your question. You have to be spot on with your words. It's very confusing. But I think this person is trying to ask, what kind of a bank account should I use?
Just a regular checking account.
Checking account versus saving. Yeah, I think that's what they're saying.
You want a checking account so you can get money out. Savings account's great, but you can't ever. You got to go through a withdrawal to get it out of there. Just to make it easy and write a check.
Casey is
one of the things, Frankie, you're talking about the checks that you need to understand. You can hold on to the checkbook yourself. Tell the bank that you only want money out of that trust to come with a written check, and you have the checkbook. Now, there's always a question of trustees. Can I trust this guy? And I don't know if he can. Well, in all 50 states, it's been settled for you. Anybody that steals any money from a trust in any form, small amount or large amount, it's a felony charge. So you don't want to ever think about that, but you can prevent it by keeping the trust book in your own possession.
Good point. Can I open a separate trust from my kids?
No. They become trust. They become beneficiaries when you pass away. That they'll have the trust eventually.
That's right. Okay, I'm going to try to skip and get going here with some other ones. I'm sorry if I'm not hitting all your questions. If I set up a trust and the company I set up the trust with is my trustee who continues the trust when they retire? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see here. Why do I need 10 trusts? Why? You're going to need a lot more than 10 trusts, but I'm sorry, Bill. Answer the question.
It's segregation of assets, and I'm going to give you the phone number to go to get it's an education call that we did, and you need to listen to that, but it explains exactly what you're asking. Why do we have segregation of assets? Why do we have 10 trusts? Let me make it to you real simple. If you have a trust, and you only have one trust, and you can be a trustee and a signer on that trust, it's really fun to operate that way. You can write a check anytime you want to, but you have no asset protection. Think about it, and you'll learn why you don't have any asset protection from the phone number of that educational call. I'll give it to you right now, so we don't forget it. If you'll dial 605 313-5155, and we enter the PIN number 155703#. And if you forgot it and didn't write it down fast enough, it's on Frank's website.
Well, Bill, we're going 5 after here, 35 after. There's still a lot of questions. Why don't you tell the family about the Tuesday and the Thursday where they can go and listen to you and also ask questions with the company lawyer?
There you go. We'll do it tonight. Tonight happens to be Tuesday, and at 8:30 Eastern Time, which is about 55 minutes from now, we have a live call that I host, and we have our attorney is on the phone with us for Q&A at the end of the call. So it's Tuesday and Thursday at 8:30 Eastern Time, and that phone number is 605-313-5156. And the PIN number that asks for is 155703#. And that call is tonight at 8:30. And at the end of the call, it's about 40 minutes long, 45 minutes long. And at the end, we open it up for Q&A, and we'll answer every question. So one night we were on to 11:30 getting the questions answered. But
wow.
That's what we said we'll do. So that's what we'll do.
Wow. I really do appreciate you, Bill Johnson and the Protection Group LLC. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Every Tuesday, every Thursday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can call to listen to the presentation itself. Is this the number? No, that's Bill Johnson's phone number. That 865-300-1953.
That's my cell phone. Yes.
Yeah, well, that's Bill. If you want to talk to him directly, there's the website that you see there. Or you can call me. My name is Frank. Frank, 26? And my phone number is 419-283-2552. I want to thank you, Bill. Let's do this again. This is the second or third time we've done a UB2B?
Yes, it is. And I appreciate you letting me have the opportunity to talk to everybody
and
explain it to them. But, like you mentioned, you hit the nail on the head a minute ago when you said what we're trying to do with these phone calls and all this stuff is there's never a charge. Nobody's ever said that you got to pay money, or we've not asked for a donation. That's not even available. What we're trying to do with you is educate you so that you have enough knowledge where you can make a decision based on what we're telling you. And once you have the knowledge, then you can make a decision. If you make a decision to come with us, we're here. We love to have you. That's all. That's the bottom line. But we're giving you enough information. I'll tell you what, you'll have with what we're giving you, you'll know more than 90% of the attorneys in the United States about irrevocable trust.
Amen to that.
Because they don't know anything about it. You know why? Because they don't make any money with it. They don't. Why would they? They want to chase ambulances and get court cases and charge you $25,000 to represent you in a DUI or something. That's just whatever. But anyway, we're getting you to get off on a tangent.
I know. I'm laughing because I'm thinking, oh man, could I talk about that? But no, I don't want to.
Yeah.
God bless you, Bill. Thank you kindly for being with us, sir. Okay.
Thank you, Frank. Jan, thank you for helping out. But we appreciate you. Love you guys.
Love you too. Bye-bye, sir.
God bless you. God bless you. And the whole family. We hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful spring, and we get some great news down the road, and lives can change for ourselves as well as others.
Amen.
Good night, and thank you.
Good night, sir. He said the weather changed. Man, we got an inch of snow outside right now. Alrighty, we had 11 calls come in, Tink. We got 10 voicemails, so one is missing, and we'll call the other one later. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for us to talk just a little bit. Let's say we talk until 8 o'clock, the next 22 minutes together. And what I'd like to do is like I said last night, I'd like to show you these articles. Let's talk about them because they are the solid proof or evidence, the backing of what we shared with you yesterday. Just to review, you do understand what we shared with you yesterday, right? Number one, the CBI is about to leak information about the monetary reform a little bit here, a little bit here, a little bit here. Where are these places that they're going to leak the information? Troublesome spots, and the majority of them is going to fall within the parliamentary structure of the GOI. There is also some troublesome spots in the GOI, in the CBI itself, but not as many as there used to be. That's number one. And I believe that we probably are going to start seeing this next week. Number two, shortly after that, maybe like a week or two after that, you're going to see the CBI and the GOI. Mustafa Galeh and the Prime Minister Kazimi, both of them are going to start a massive campaign of advertisement about the monetary reform in country to the citizens, because the massive campaign of the monetary reform has already been done outside of Iraq. Let me prove that to you before we go to these articles. You remember about 2 years ago, maybe now 3 years ago, there was about some 400 contracts from the Kuwait conference. Remember that? Oh boy, did they talk about it, really proud, like, oh, we got all these countries, look, all these contracts, oh, we're going to rebuild our country, yeah. And they waited and they waited and they waited. Rip Van Winkle couldn't even wait anymore. And nobody came in. What's up with that? What's up with that? What happened? Well, what happened is that these countries, when they went to the conference, they were all told, yes, we're going to protect you with Article 8. We're going to raise the value. We're going to go international. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, yeah, we're coming. We signed. All right, yeah. It never happened. So, of course, they're not going to come into Iraq. But now, all of a sudden, ladies and gentlemen, you've got hundreds, maybe even thousands of companies pouring into Iraq, and countries pouring into Iraq. Why? Because they know that they will be protected under Article 8. So, about 3 years ago, nobody came in. They weren't protected under Article 8, lifting the value of their currency. But now, they're all pouring in. What's the difference? Why are they pouring in this time around? If you were with us last night and we gave you our opinion of our study, I think you know very well why. Alrighty, now let's turn this camera around, Tink, if you can help me. Let's move this over this way so that we don't show anything this way or that way, just straight forward. I'll put the camera straight down. Help me. Don't worry, sweetie. I try not to get you on there. You just get out of the way, sweetie. I don't get you. Okay. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit more. All righty. Well, all right then. Here we go. Yeah, by the way, Macaulay. Oh, man, are you kidding me? If you're going to run for governor, I'll vote for you, man. All right. Family, I want you to go to the final article thread inside of our forum. You do belong to our forum, don't you? But of course you do, ktfalways.com. And I want you to go to, well, let's go here. Go to page number 43. You see it right about there? So 43 is where we're going to start, but we're going to start down here. Normally I start on the day after. On the day after. We were together, a week ago yesterday. And normally I start with Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and so forth. But I actually went back a little further. This is from you can see the date right there, the 11th. On the 11th of April, look at this. The central bank comes out and they explain. Look at that. We explained. What? We want to adapt the exchange rate. We want to adapt to it. What? And remember, when we read all of this together, and down here in the bottom, well, the whole idea is that we're going through these phases. You what? I remember Frank telling us about phase one and phase two and phase three and all that phase stuff. In fact, he said phase three was going to be a flotation. Yes, we're going through these phases, and the one we're at right now is flotation. And when you stop and think about it, the only way that the Iraqi dinar can be floated outside of Iraq is because they are going to fix it inside of Iraq at 1 to 1 with the American dollar, giving outside the potential to float and reach the real effective exchange rate, the rear. Well, that's nice. And then they can cap it because they have calculations and calculations and calculations to do this. That article right there is for you, family. Final article number 845. The central bank reveals new developments regarding the dollar exchange rate. Article after article after article after article after article after article after article, all talking about exactly what we told you. The exchange rate of the Iraqi dinar versus the dollar. There it is again and again and again. And when you read this right here, we have what's this? We have what? We have what? We have what? We have what? A new exchange rate. Oh my goodness. Why? And when you read this in red, you'll understand why. Final article number 846. The price of the dollar in Iraq continues to rise, approaching $149,000 to $100. Now, when you look at this, you say, well, that sucks. Yeah, like octopus. But I want you to once again look at the mantra. Look at the echoing. Look at the cadence of the march is constantly about one thing. What? Raise the value of our currency. Well, weren't you complaining about, lowering it and it's going to stay that way? Yeah, but now we're talking about raise the value of our currency. You know very well they're going to do that, don't you? Well, yeah. The exchange rate of the dollar against the dinar are continuing and reach unprecedented levels. Are you going to share those levels? Yeah. When? In the near proximal future, Frank told you. Come on. Okay. Final article number 847. Al-Kazimi talks about the central bank and the dollar after the reform measure. Did we not tell you, ladies and gentlemen, yesterday? Pay attention. First, they're going to come out. Who? Central bank. And do what? They're going to, release some information to see where it leaks. And then part two, what I tell you. Both the GOI, Kazimi, and the Central Bank of Iraq. Oh, Mustafa? What? They're going to put out a massive campaign in billboards, advertising on television and newspapers, every way possible to tell the citizens. When you read this, ladies and gentlemen, you'll see the bonding between the two of them. And you'll see that together they have been working. Oh, we succeeded in increasing the bank's reserves of the dollar after the reform measures that we have taken. After the reform measures that we have taken. After the reform measures that we have taken. Now, what did we read up there just a few seconds ago? What was it? Let's see here. Let me see. No, where was it? Come on. I ain't got all day. We worked on it. The central bank confirmed that the new exchange rate. The what? The new exchange rate. The what? The new exchange rate. Well, quit repeating yourself. Well, it's because we're in a cave. There's an echo. Okay. So there you go. Yeah. Enjoy it. Final article number 848. Governor of the central bank meets a delegation from the French Development Agency. Looky here, Pepe Le Pew. Thanks for showing up, but in all honesty, we don't really need you. But come on in. You guys always show up at the end. Just come on in and be quiet. In fact, join everybody else. What? Join everybody else. What do you mean? Well, Frank just told you that the Kuwait conference, nobody came, but now everybody's coming in. Even you, France. That is a real big telltale sign. You guys never want to contribute. You never want to put in any money. You never want to do any work. You just want to show up at the end and eat what everybody works so hard to bring to the table. Final article number 849, Kurdistan Parliament. Within 30 days, it will become evident the extent of the federal government commitment to implementing the budget. Now, if you look over here, you can see the date of when this was, and then 2 days later, kaboom, it's official. And that's why we talk to you, because it's official. Because it's official. We talked to you about this in depth yesterday. We talked to you about that in depth. This budget is at 1460 because that's the official exchange rate. But we also now have an official budget, and that was going to open the door to bring in a new exchange rate. Somebody said to me on my form, in fact, they said it on our UB2B. In fact, it was the same individual, just the same one person. I mean, he posted it everywhere. Frank, yeah. I went to the CBI website. Yeah, what about it? Well, I saw the budget for Iraq. Yeah, just a few years ago. I saw it 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago. Yeah, I saw a bunch of budgets. Why do you say that this is the very first time that Iraq has ever had a budget? Because it is. No, 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 Frank. I've seen all those budgets. Okay, look, let me help you because apparently you don't trust me. The budgets that you're looking at, that's inside of their website, those budgets, my dear friend, were the numbers that the government of Iraq put up. Because those budgets were never voted on. Those budgets were never approved. Those budgets were never signed by the president. 14 days later, they went into effect. And whatever these thieves put into the budget, those are their numbers. And if you want to believe those numbers, that's up to you. Iraq has never had a budget in my lifetime. I hope that answers your question. You don't have to mistrust me again. Final article number 850, Representative Economics. Applying taxes at border crossing will push the government to reduce the exchange rate of the dollar. Now, you got to be careful because you may say to yourself, oh, look, you see what they're to reduce the exchange rate of the dollar. What's the exchange rate of the dinar right now? 1460? Okay, 1460, okay. To reduce the exchange rate of the dollar. Can the CBI reduce the exchange rate of the American dollar? Of course not. So you see what they're talking about is the Iraqi dinar exchange rate against the American dollar. But that's not important. What's important is, look, applying taxes at the border crossings will push the government to do what? Basically, to change the rate. To change the rate. And another thing, how dare you? Kazemi, you know better than this. You were taught better than this by the Fab Four. How dare you, Parliament, come out and say, yes, we're going to now charge taxes to the Iraqi citizens for their goods, for traveling, for border crossings. Parliament, shut up! And in fact, today, now, when did this article come out? Let's see the date. Let me see. Oh, the 14th? All right, so that was 6 days ago. And then today, Kazemi, the prime minister, comes out and he says, hey, Parliament, what? Shut up. Why? Because this proposal that you have brought to us, to the government, I just flushed it down the toilet. You did not. Yes, I did. Your idea to charge the people taxes is stupid. Now, you just shut up. We're going to charge them taxes, but not until after we raise the value of our currency. Mind your own business. You see how it works, family? And by the way, how y'all doing? Is everybody okay? Are you bored? I always like to say that to tease you. Okay, let's go to the next article. Final article number 851. Harp, two things, only two. Enable Parliament to avoid the 2021 budget problems. Yeah, and you know what? In Parliament, once again, opening their mouth, and what are they saying? What we need to do is we need to do something about the budget and the exchange rate. Shut up. Just a few weeks ago, you guys were complaining like crazy and saying that, oh, they lowered it and it's going to stay that way. Now you want it up. Make up your mind. This article is very good, by the way. Very, very good. In fact, look what we did. We snuck in Petra's analysis of this article because it's well done. Final article number 852, Trader Noise and Exchange Rate. Trader Noise and Exchange Rate. Seriously, I mean, Iraq, is there anything else that you guys want to talk about? I guess not. Just the exchange rate. Constant. And all the things that they said. Well, they said that it was a negative effect in their country. Final article number 853, two reasons to push and to accelerate it. The International Monetary Agency expects the growth of Iraq economy in 2021 and determines its percentage. Well, the IMF is the one that allowed the Iraqi currency to go up in value, and they're about to release that one-to-one rate. And now the IMF also says that, hey, you know what? This year, Iraq is really going to explode. Why? Well, I'd rather not tell you. Well, let me tell you why. Because their currency is going to allow international growth, not only inside of Iraq for purchasing power for the citizens, but outside of Iraq as well, too, in what's called the real effective exchange rate, with a float that will be managed and then capped. Final article number 854, foreign currencies requests. What you guys want? Well, the central bank decides to increase its sales of hard currency to 4 denominations. Really? Why are you doing that? Well, we want to get rid of it. Really? Why? We have a new currency coming. Okie dokie. You should read this, family. Final article number 855, Deputy. Changing the exchange rate of the dollar was a wrong decision that two sides bear. Ah, so now you're saying, okay. Let me just make sure you're saying this. You're saying that the lowering of the Iraqi dinar exchange rate was a bad thing, and it affected both sides. It affected the poor, the Iraqi citizens, and it affected all the politicians, huh? Yeah. Changing, let me see here. Let's just say, right. Changing the exchange rate was wrong. Is wrong. The government decision that is bore by the Minister of Finance and the governor of the central bank. Yeah, but you knuckleheads don't understand why it happened. You really should come to our Monday conference calls. Never mind. Final article number 856, Parliament warnings of the catastrophic repercussions of the continued rise in the dollar exchange rate. I just think it's comical. That's why I put these up here. These are the ones you normally flush down the toilet. But look, these are the same ones that about 3 weeks ago were complaining and saying, oh, it was a dumb thing to do. No, actually about 2 weeks ago. It was a dumb thing to do. Oh, yeah, they lowered the value of our currency, and it's going to stay that way forever. But now you're coming out and just constantly, article after article after article. You guys talk about anything else except for the exchange rate of the Iraqi dinar versus the dollar exchange rate? Huh? Well, if I didn't know any better, this is really heavy on your mind. Final article number 857, new developments regarding the dollar exchange rate. This is getting boring, man. And when you read about it, you find out that, look, what we did with the auctions, we changed them, right, to protect our currency. Okay. Final article number 856. Representatives hold the government and the central bank responsible for the disastrous consequence of the rise in the dollar. Representatives? Representatives of what? What? The toilet? Is that what? Representatives of who? There they are again. Look at that. Parliament is complaining. Parliament is just female dogging all over the place. Isn't that interesting? And I thought this was going to be permanent. Why are you complaining? Why you want to change? Huh? It's impossible, you said, huh? Yeah. Final article number 8. I really, really despise false. I despise lies. I'm sick and tired of them with my own government. I despise false propaganda. And that's what you are, Parliament. And that's why the Central Bank of Iraq is about to test you one more time. And if you don't pass it, oh, man. Looky here, ladies and gentlemen, pay close attention. Parliament, it was just 2 weeks ago that we made you sign pieces of paper saying that you would agree with the change of the Iraqi exchange rate. And if you didn't remember what we said, we would just dismantle Parliament? Yeah, I remember. So why don't you guys shut up before we tear up those papers? Okay. Final article number 860. The reason, by the way, this whole conference call is in my opinion, family. This whole conference call is in my opinion. Okay? Okay. Final article number 860. The reason for the high prices in Iraq are hidden behind a wrong diagnosis and the government wasting its time. Is it wasting its time? Once again, look at article after article after article after article after article after article, all saying, we made a big mistake. We need to raise the value of the currency. Yeah, now you're saying it. But why were you putting out the false propaganda just about 3-4 weeks ago, huh? Why? Because you're a bunch of jerks. You're from Iran. You want to read this, by the way. I don't have the time to read all of this. Hey, the final article number 861. Al-Rafadim raises the interest of savings accounts for depositors, their money. Well, basically, this is like, hey, citizens of Iraq, would you like a George Foreman grill set? You want some you want some top value stamps and some S&H green stamps? Huh? Yeah, we'll give you even a little puppy. Yeah, come on in. Open up an account. Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. How about if we give you higher interest rates? Now you're talking. You can keep the George Foreman set. All righty. And Al-Rafadim raises the interest of saving accounts for depositors of their money. I wonder why. Let's go to the last page, number 44. And it's 8 o'clock, by the way. Right about now is when I was going to try to end this. Let's see if we can really rapid fire this. In fact, I don't know if we will be able to because there are so many delicious articles. I may just read them and not really go into it. Tuesday, the final article number 862. Tuesday, the government is discussing a proposal to impose a tax on the salaries retroactively. No. Okay, yeah, Mustafa or Kazemi stopped that. Final article 863. Why did he stop it? I already gave you my opinion. Let's do it after we raise the value, man. What are we going to tax them? Huh? Well, how much can you get from zero, in taxes? Dr. Chalet, on the rise of the dollar exchange rate, sacrificing a side of the central bank's reserves would allow price stability and ensure the stability of the standards of living. You know what he's saying? We're going to raise the value of our currency because we have enough assets, we have enough in reserves to back it up. Well, thank you, sir. Thank you. All right. You have a good day, too. Well, all right, I will. This is also highlighted right here by our news hound, M&M. We have one from Petra, and now we have one from M&M. This is a powerful article. Final article number 864. The 2021 budget comes into effect, and this is its final text. In case you were interested, family, this is the official publication where the budget was put in. This is the official newspaper that puts out the Gazette. And there it is, in case you needed to see it. Ta-da! Oh, look at that. That's 1, there's 2, there's 3, there's 4. And, just in case you didn't believe us. Final article number 865. The National Bank approves the purchase of banks, Audi's branches business. Come on, man. Lebanon, you bringing in your bank, your Audi banks? Are you kidding me? No, we're not. But how is your money going to be protected under Article 8? No, okay, thank you very much. Have a good day. All right. Final article number 866. Sinjar is a city of peaceful coexistence and needs international support to advance its reality. You better believe it, says the Japanese ambassador. No kidding. You coming in to Japan? Yes, we are. The rising sun, dude. Righteous. Come on in. Final article number 867. How affected is the Iraqi market by changing the price of the dollar? I'm sorry, man. Look, when you guys stop talking about changing the exchange rate of your currency against the dollar, let me know, because this is just getting ridiculously boring. It is. Yeah, it is. I mean, look, what do you say? The extent to which the change in the exchange rate of the dollar against the dinar was affected. Oh, and that's why you want it again? So you want to do the reciprocal. You want to reverse it, right? They already did. Just shut up. Final article number 868. Chalet, custom taxes constitute 3% of the GPD. I know, sir, but you also know that Chalet or that Kazemi doesn't want it right now because the suggestion came from Parliament, and Parliament can just go, jump off a long pier or whatever they call it. Final article number 869, including the electrical connections, Jordan parliamentary. Jordan, you too? Come on in, Jordan. Come on in. Hey, there's plenty of room. What does that make? Like number 170 billionth country that's coming in? I guess. I don't know. Final article number 870. Family, 3 years ago, the Kuwait conference. Nobody came in. They all signed contracts, but they're not stupid. Now they're all coming in, signing contracts, and they're still not stupid. Final article number 870. The top 12 most expensive world currencies? No. Yeah. No. Yeah. Iraq is in there? Yes, it is. Oh, get out of here. Okay, never mind. Final article number 871. A strategic partnership between MasterCard and the Central. Wait a minute. MasterCard? International? Yeah. It doesn't even have to be a country, does it? No, as long as it's international. Well, come on in, Tala. Final article number 872. Legal experts, Iraq exits from the list of high-ranked countries is a big victory. You're telling me? Why do you think they're all pouring in? They know that your country is no longer a high risk. Final article number 873. The opening of the headquarters of the Iraqi company to guarantee deposits. Yeah, all the banks in Iraq, ladies and gentlemen, are modern. In fact, their ATM machines are 10 times more modern, more up to date than ours are. Yeah. To restore confidence in the private bank, opening the headquarters of the Iraqi Deposit Insurance Company, FDIC. Yeah. Oh, man, that's the first time your money's protected in your own banks, ain't it, citizens of Iraq? Yeah. Well, all right then. Final article number 874. Family. What? Family? What? Is this Frank? Yeah. What? What do you got to say? Family, we told you that they cannot float inside of Iraq. Now Kazemi tells you the very same thing. Kazemi, what? Floating the currency leads to the collapse of the market and warned against its implementation. That it's not permissible to float the currency in Iraq, inside of Iraq. I mean, come on. Frank told you we're going to float it outside. What's the matter with you? And then Frank all of a sudden opens his big fat mouth and he says that the only reason that they're floating it outside of Iraq is because they are going to fix it inside of Iraq at 1 to 1. Isn't that right, Mustafa? Hey, Mustafa. Hey, buddy, come on. Give me 5, man. There you go. You son of a gun. Have a good day. Warning of its implementation, Advisor Al-Kazemi, floating the currency leads to the collapse of the Iraqi market. We know that, sir. Thank you very much. Frank already taught us about 4 weeks ago. Final article, number 875. Tender for processing paper currency parcels tapes. What? Well, you can't hear me. Well, say it again. Well, hold on. Let me drink some water. Slurp, slurp, slurp. Okay, here we go. Tender. That's a legal. That's a legal transaction, a contract. I want to do something. I want to buy something. I want to do business with you. All right. Tender for processing. Basically for implementation, for usage. Okay. Of what? Of paper currency. Paper currency? Yeah. For what reason? For parcel tapes. Okay, wait a minute. Let me understand this. You put out basically a bid asking for these platforms, these parcels, okay? Where you're going to stack up some paper currency? Yeah. What are you going to do? Get rid of 3-0 notes and introduce new small category notes and properly store them in the parcel tapes in the banks? Yeah. Okay. Well, I tell you what, I'll get you some. Okay. Final article number 876. New calls for the government and the central bank about the dollar exchange rate. Yes, okay. Never mind. Final article number 877. Iraq intends to export glass products. Where? Russia! Hey, man, don't be in such a hurry to do that. You get it? Russia. You get it? Did you get it, Tink? Don't be... Anyways, way to go, Russia. Everybody, man. How many does that make? I think that's country number 179 bazillion. Yeah, okay. Final article number 878. Advisor to the Prime Minister. The strong relationship supports the openness of the of the Omani and Iraqi markets. Omanis and Iraqis together? Oman, you coming too? Oman, really? Are you serious? Okay, come on in. And this whole article, it's all international, family. That's why they're talking about the exchange rate, and it has to change. Final article number 879. Governmental media. The Ministry of Finance sets an economic reform plan to begin the macroeconomic projects. Well, this right here, you see what it says right here? In order to get these projects that they're talking about on a macro scale, over here, right here, it was the change of the exchange rate of the dollar excuse me, it was the change of the exchange rate of the dinar against the dollar. Well, thank you. Finally, somebody speaks English, or better yet, somebody got a nice translation here, because that's exactly what you're doing. And you're doing it, what's it say here? Well, because we're implementing international market. La, 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 la. Oh, that's beautiful. This is beautiful. Ladies and gentlemen, standing ovation for this, please. Okay, sit down. Thank you. All right. And that's the end of our final articles. Tink. Here you go, Tink. Oh, and while we make you a little seasick by moving the camera up and down all over the place, we now say to you, good night. I think it's crooked. I'm not too sure. Sideways. Is that better? I hope you had a good time tonight. Understand that these articles are showing you that they are international, and are showing you that they have a great concern about changing their exchange rate. And it shows you that all these countries that are pouring into Iraq right now, and they didn't 3 years ago at the Kuwait conference, well, that says a lot. That says an awful lot. And I really pray that the individual that questioned me that, oh, Frank, they've had a budget before, understands now how I explained it. Now, they've never had a budget ever passed, ever voted on, ever signed, ever before that I know of. And what you read was just budgets that they put out with their own figures. They presented their own figures. It was not via an official budget for the country. I hope that helps you. And this is actually the here's another one for you. This is also the very first time ever that the budget is in a public venue, like the Gazette. I hope I helped you. Pray for each other. Pray for my friend Walking Stick. I pray for you. Would you pray for me? I appreciate it. One of the things I've learned is that I need to rest. Yesterday, I had, in those 7 hours I was with you, I had 2 sips of water. You can actually see the whole thing, all 7 hours. You see, I drank water 2 times. And I paid the price for it today. For about 7 hours, I was in great pain. Excruciating pain. But about 30 minutes, maybe 45 minutes before I came onto the UB2B, it turned out that the Lord answered my prayer. And he helped me. And I think what I did is that I sat there as much as I could, answering the phone, resting. It's important to rest. Some of you still follow the old law, and you practice Sabbath. Good for you. Good for you. I got nothing against that. I don't believe that practicing the Sabbath is going to save me. No, the blood of Jesus Christ, the new law, that's what saves me. But there's nothing wrong with practicing the Sabbath. It's good. Shalom Sabbath. Shalom Sabbath. It's really good. You know what's interesting? God rested, didn't he? God rested. But what I find so fascinating is that God never sleeps. My God, my omnipotent God never sleeps. But interestingly enough, after he created everything, he rested for that day. There has to be a powerful reason why God rested when he doesn't even sleep in the first place. God bless you. Y'all take care of each other. You know the two things that you're looking for, okay? They're going to test the rumors. They're going to see. You're going to see some stuff. We've already assigned our news hounds that the moment they see these articles, they're not to post them at KTFA. No, they're to give them to me and our teams. We want to vet them, and then we will present them to you. So once you start seeing these articles and we release them to you, you're going to start getting a feeling again. Just like all the things that we've told you, you now are seeing them. But now you need to see the testing of the field. And they're also testing their assets too, but that's in a different way. And then when they're done with that, a massive campaign by the GOI and the CBI, Mustafa and Kazemi, a massive advertising campaign in newspapers and radios and billboards inside of banks and flyers and meetings, all telling them about the new exchange rate and the new small category notes. Okay? Okay. Y'all take care of each other. I gotta go rest. I love you. I'll see you Thursday. Oh, by the way, we do a Zoom. But we had a lot of people complain. And all these people that complained, they said, well, I don't know what Zoom is. Okay. Well, I don't know how to get on Zoom. Okay. I don't belong to your forum. How am I going to get the link, huh? That's not nice. That's very unchristian-like of you, Frank. Okay, judge and jury. So here's what we're going to do. I'm just going to do it on the UB2B. You see, Will is going to do it on a Zoom. So I'm going to take an iPad and I'm going to turn it around and you're going to see the Zoom production through my UB2B. Is that okay? Okay. Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll see you with the infomercial. And Walking Stick and I talked today. But the problem is we pray, we hope that between now and Thursday, I can tell you what he told me today. Actually, what we told you yesterday is enough to carry you for a while. Remember, we're way past that learning curve. God bless you. Aloha. And a hui ho on Thursday as we say aloha to you tonight on Tuesday. God bless. Bye-bye. Did you hear that noise again?
I did.
Did you hear that noise again?
Somebody's eating your cookies.
This is getting out of hand. You think it's the dogs next door that come over?
I think they found a new way in.
Where's my baseball bat? I'll go take care of it.